Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Erica Martin with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. We were muted for just one moment, but we are now unmuted. I hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday. And also, if you do observe the Lenten season, I do hope you're having a wonderful start to your Lenten season. I personally want to thank my good friend Joseph DeRosa, who invited me to St. Monica today in Santa Monica, California. And it was a wonderful service at St. Monica. I am so grateful. Thank you so much for everybody who just was so amiable and just so kind there. It was just a wonderful, wonderful start to Lenten season. Now, I do also want to say, of course, if you observe Ramadan, I hope you're having a wonderful Ramadan as well. And I have to certainly kick things off with some weather tea. There is so much weather going on right now. I've got to tell you, Hi, Dave. I see Dave is on from New England. Dave from New England, who actually happens to be a verified weather watcher. I hope you are doing well and feeling better. I know he was actually disrupted a little bit due to of course, this weather that's happening across the Great Lakes, the UP. So, guys, let's kick things off here with what's happening at 700 millibars. You guys are looking at a setup here that includes our satellite, our radar, but it also has our wind profile at 700 millibars. And I'll explain in just one moment why that's so important as opposed to seeing a surface wind, okay? But I do have to show you what's happening right now across the Northeast. In fact, speaking of our weather watcher in the Northeast, you guys are starting to get some heavy downpours moving up and along the eastern seaboard, just off of, you can see the mid-Atlantic is just starting to get the back end of that, but there's more on the way. And here in Southern California, we are tracking some rain, and the rain is becoming a little bit more moderate. But I want to show you, we're also tracking a few storm cells right here in our own backyard. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, see if we can show you exactly what's happening here. I love this perspective. This storm cell right here, do you see that storm? That one's just marching up and across. Let's zoom in a little bit closer and give you a better idea of where that storm cell is. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a touch. We're going to get to everybody across the nation. The weather just, it's so fun to be a meteorologist. I have to tell you, it is so fun being a meteorologist. The weather, it's copious, right? There's so much weather happening right now. It doesn't end, right? Thank you for shout out. You're definitely the most accurate. Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you so much. Okay. So here's the deal. I keep minimizing this and I shouldn't be doing that. Okay. So now we're going to be tracking these storm cells moving through parts of Southern California. Now, do I think any of these, some of these might be strong. Do you see here? There's like little embedded, heavier downpours moving through. That's a good one here. In other words, if you look closely here, our Titan impact range is anywhere between a 2 to about a 5. And you see how you're getting some updraft. That would indicate that there is a little bit of upward motion, right? So there is some vertical velocity. That's really important, especially when we're talking about the potential for a stronger storm to perhaps give us some hail. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm looking at those particular storms moving through. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause this radar here, and actually want to stop this to our current time frame right now. Okay. So we see right around Lake Elsinore, Riverside Highland, you see how you have those heavier pockets of rain. And actually pause this right now. Remember, it's giving us 4:30 p.m. because now it normally would be Central Standard Time because I have it facing the middle of the nation. But in this case, we have the West Coast. So of course, it's giving us PST. However, heads up, PST not for too long because we're going to go PDT by Sunday, right? So Saturday, Sunday, 2 a.m. We're going to go spring forward 1 hour. So let me just do something quickly and let me remove that. Okay, so because now we're looking at this particular area. We're going to go with that 3-hour loop once again. And we're going to track so many weather alerts happening. Some of the bigger concerns, of course, is the amount of rain, but also the snow melt, and looming weather. Look at this guy out here. This is what we're tracking for the West Coast in a few days. Now, I actually initially said sometime around the 11th, 12th, 13th. That's about the time frame, and I'll show you what we're looking at over the next 72 hours. To go the 240 hours out, I'll probably wait until tomorrow. Right now, we're just going to take a look at what we have going on right now in Southern California, and then what's happening in the next couple of days. And then, of course, we'll talk about the long range situation. Now, I'm going to go ahead and center this. All right. Do you see how this is pretty much the center of the nation? Once again, our winds are at 700 millibars. And the reason I want to have the winds at 700 millibars is because that's really where we can see a lot of the area of low pressure, for example, over the UP. We can see if there are any short waves embedded. We can see just how impactful it might be when we look at the trough axis. When we look at things like that, 700 millibar generally does a really great job in us seeing the feature, okay? Another thing I want you guys to see as I move this, again, do you see here how once again we went to CST? All right, because we're looking at the middle of the nation. Once again, this is going to give you the time zone depending on what this is actually facing, okay? Let's loop this. That little storm cell this guy right here is pretty interesting. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Erica Martin with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. And yeah, we're tracking several weather events across the nation. And I actually want to show you something else. We're tracking several, or updating you on several storm reports as well. So let's look at our local storm reports. I'm going to remove our storm tracks, and I'm only going to show you the storms over the past, this is 12 hours. Let me just go last 3 hours. These are the storm reports for the past 3 hours. Look at how active it's been over the past 3 hours. Okay, so we have this storm, this area of low pressure here over the Great Lakes region, over the UP. Let me remove the storm reports once again. It's just, there's a lot there, right? Let's remove that. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Okay, we're going to go ahead and track this. So this is a major weather maker right here. Do you see my little blue hand? That is a big time weather maker across the UP, across the Great Lakes, and it's going to impact the Berkshires, the Adirondacks. It's going to continue to move really eastward, but it's going to be more of like an east-northeast path. So look at that. I'm going to take our wind profile. I'm going to go down to our surface at 10 meters. And now just keep in mind, when we're talking about your 700 millibar chart, again, it's the lowest level, or it's the highest of the lower level charts, if that makes sense, right? Because the next thing we're going to get to would be 500 millibars. And I always want to be clear here as far as the location. Generally speaking, it's about 10,000 feet as far as your 700 millibar chart goes. So you can see this is just higher up in the atmosphere, but still, it's not quite the middle of the atmosphere. I know. Did I tell you it's going to be wicked hot Wednesday weather? There's so much weather, and I'm giving you guys so many details when it comes to the weather forecast. I just want you all to really be well informed. I removed our wind profile. I'm going to add them back, and then I'm going to show you what they look like at 10 meters, okay? So that's going to be a really, I think this is going to be a very good depiction, again, of what's happening at the surface, but also it's not going to necessarily give you the full detail, the full scope of that area of low pressure over the UP, but nonetheless, it's still doing a great job. I've got to just, pick and choose my battles here. Okay. All right. So, let's see here. We have several alerts to go over. Now, all in all, the biggest features we're tracking right now include this area of low pressure, as you can see right in this area here, right? So Midwest, Upper Peninsula, this is causing a lot of trouble here. We also have this area of low pressure that's now really beginning to impact the Great Basin and the Intermountain West. And the reason that's so important is because that's where we're looking. Of course, it's going to impact the Rockies, right? But that's where we're looking at things like those avalanche warnings, avalanche watches, and the concern for that heavier wet snow. That has been something we've talked about for a little bit for the past couple of weeks. Really, it's just been the impact of that more wet snow. So, as we begin our round of weather alerts, let's just actually start in the Great Basin, right? So, apart from actually having some precip make it to the ground, we have our winter weather advisory in effect until 4 a.m. Friday. So, we are now in the middle of that winter weather advisory across the Great Basin. However, portion of the Great Basin, that's going to be in effect until 4 a.m. Friday morning PST. Northeastern Nye and Northwestern Nye counties. This, of course, includes the potential for hazardous conditions, likelihood of hazardous conditions. So please be aware. Now, once we get into the Intermountain West region, this is where we're talking about different situations as far as what the actual weather alert is. And in that case, we have that winter storm warning. Now, it took a second to populate. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Probably make it easier. Let me remove our satellite. It's not that I don't like to show you our satellite, but oftentimes it just gets a little bit nebulous. Nebulous. Didn't mean to choose that word at all, but nebulous. It gets a little unclear, right? So we want to remove that. And in fact, I'll even remove our radar to even give you a clear depiction of what these weather alerts look like. Okay. So here are the alerts issued across the Intermountain West. And of course, that's our winter weather related story, right? So in this case, we're talking about a winter storm warning remaining in effect until 5 p.m. this afternoon. Well, beginning at 5 p.m. this afternoon local time through 5 p.m. Friday. So heavy snow expected with total accumulations between 1 and 2 feet, locally up to 30 inches in the Upper Cottonwoods. Now, if you've never been to the Upper Cottonwoods, absolutely stunning area of the world. I wouldn't even say of the nation. It's beautiful. So Wasatch Mountains, the beautiful Wasatch Mountains, Western Uinta Mountains. I love the Uintas as well. And let's see, Central, Southern Mountains, Plateau, Book Cliff, the Book Cliffs, okay? And let's see, we're talking about the concern of being prepared and the travel being difficult, okay? Let's see. We are now going to continue up and across the Intermountain West and then start heading over into the Great Plains. I've got to get here first, though. I've got to get to Northern California. This is an important situation. We have our freeze watch in effect, and this is from late Thursday through early Friday morning for Lake and Mendocino counties, the interior Mendocino County region. Across the central Southern California area, the low desert, the high desert, the inland empire, we're seeing weather alerts, including our winter weather advisory, our wind advisory. Okay. Sierra Nevadas, you of course have your winter storm warning, and I will keep you updated on that as well. So many weather stories. So many weather stories happening right now. Absolutely. So what ends up happening right now as we start to see a shift in the seasons, weather patterns, we're starting to see how a heavier, wetter snow could be absolutely more impactful. We're also talking about how pressure gradients, how the atmosphere overall just gets a lot more volatile. You're seeing right now, if I go back to our wind particles, and I bring us to, let's see, let me go to 250 millibars. Remember, we're on the ECMWF, so the European model, at 9 kilometers, look what happens. Do you see that flow? I really want you all to see this, okay? I'm going to leave it here for one moment. This is a very important pattern you're looking at. Now, 250 millibars on the ECMWF, or for all intents and purposes, the European model, that's going to give us the jet stream, okay? This time of the year, we're still probably looking at 300 millibars. I'm okay with going to 250 millibars. Honestly, we're changing seasons. I still think this gives us a great depiction, but what you're seeing is a meridional pattern. I have told you all many times, whenever we're going into this meridional pattern, and then we're starting to see all these systems move in, oftentimes they just get a lot more. Look at this. Look, follow my little hand here, my blue little hand. Look what happens. They just become a lot more dynamic. All right. If it was more of a zonal flow, meaning a little bit more flat, I'd be like, okay. But look, for example, we just got a flood watch populated. All right. So now we're talking about green on the screen is some kind of hydrology report. Has to do with water in some capacity. Generally speaking, you're talking about brilliant hydrologists getting together to give you all some type of an update when it comes to whether it's a river update, anything as far as flood stage or creeks, or in this case, rain, any possibility in that nature. But remember, I pulled off our radar, so let's add our radar back on. Wow, that flood watch makes sense in New York State. Let's remove that quickly. Now, remember, we're seeing something hydrology related up in Montana, right? Up in the Great Plains, Northern Plains. Let me move this over. Remember, if you're wondering why, this is starting to populate here. Wow. This is good weather. Oh my gosh, guys, there's so much happening right now. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this just populating. This is some type of hydrology report. Now we'll have to, of course, examine it and see exactly what it is. And in this case, we just said it was a flood watch remaining in effect through Thursday afternoon. Okay. Flooding caused by significant snow melt and a general half-inch of rainfall. Did I not tell you earlier last week, in fact, snowmelt was going to be a big concern. And now, of course, because of that area of low pressure, this is some kind of avalanche-related situation here. Blizzard. Avalanche is red as well, that reddish color. Blizzard. And I was wondering what could be up there. That's an avalanche, but okay. So we have our blizzard warning up here. Now we have our flood watch here. There was something else. Oh, okay. Freezing. We know this. This is our freezing spray warning. And especially whenever we're looking at the Great Lakes, we're just like, okay, this is going to be some kind of situation with freeze spray. Wow. Oh, here's another one. This actually just populated as well. So this was a special weather statement. Do you see this sandy color here? This was a special weather statement, and now this has since been upgraded to a flood advisory. Urban and small stream. Did I just not say this was another hydrology type of report? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected. Portions of east central New York, including Dutchess and Ulster counties, until 9:30 p.m. local time. All right. So as I said earlier, there is a lot of weather tea right now. There is so much weather going on right now. I mean, we're just moving along, and we're getting this is populating. Do you guys see this right here? Okie dokie. What is going on? Hang on one second. We're going to go ahead and move this in there. What's happening? Virginia, what's going on here? This looks like some kind of thunderstorm. Severe thunderstorm warning? All right, here we go. Oh, come on. And anytime, just forgive the delay as well. Anytime there's so much happening. Yep, severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, that is going to be very interesting. Let me change our wind particles back to, I'm going to go to 700 millibars. Why? Because I want to see vertical velocity. I'm interested in that right now. Okay, let's go back to 700 millibars. Oh, and something else just populated, some hydrology reports. Okay, severe thunderstorm warning, and let's take a look at what the event actually explains. Let's give us a moment. Let me just read that quickly. Let's go back to it. Okay, let's go. So much is populating right now. Oh, wow. So we're talking about severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Madison County. This has been, it looks like it's radar indicated. Radar indicated. Okay. So at 7:44 p.m. local time, a severe thunderstorm was located moving eastward at 30 miles per hour across Virginia. So the Piedmont, that's to be expected, right? You've got your area of low, you got your low pressure, right? You've got your system over the UP, over the Great Lakes. Look at this populating right here. This looks like an airport situation. This might be an airport situation. Aviation weather warning. There you go. Okay, there's a lot happening in this computer of mine. There's a lot happening. Aviation weather. So it looks like an airport situation. They're keeping you updated. 7:30 p.m. EST. So that's State College. That's actually where we have other weather companies based as well. National Weather Service and State College, PA, has issued an airport weather warning for State College Regional Airport, valid until 8 p.m. local time or until it's canceled. Now, we have reports here of cloud to ground lightning. All right. Turn around, don't drown. Yes. Did you just see that? So we have one of our weather watchers. Hey, Dave, if you can possibly get us some images from Connecticut just outside your window, we'll be happy with that. I do want you to show everybody how we just discussed heavier rain moving your way. And per usual, Weather Co-op nailed it. It's what we do. Okay. That's what we do all day. Like all day. All right. Do you see that? Here you go, Dave Velez, our weather watcher. Let's look at our storm reports here. Actually, let me remove that. There's just too many storm reports. Let me get your storm tracker right now. Do you see how you have, look what's happening here at 700 millibars. Look at this, Dave. Look at this, everybody. Do you see how the winds are now coming up? And if I were to, let's see if I can tilt this for you quickly. Let's see if I can tilt it. Oh, you know, here we go. This will be a good one. We'll slice this for you guys. Nope, it's not doing it. Hang on. Like I said, there's definitely a lot. Okay. Let me do this. I'm gonna get off of this product quickly. There's literally so many items on here right now. Okay. Let's undo our queries. Let's see, we're gonna go back to it. Give us a second. We're resetting that map. So many alerts. Okay, let's see. Okay. We're definitely getting some kind of an alert here. Some kind of an update. Okay, it's loading. Give it a second, guys. Okay. Oh, I see here. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to try to get this going. 1 second. Give us a minute. Give us a minute. Let's see if we can find another. Give us 1 second. We are. Okay, let's see if we can load this one. Yeah, okay. Do you see how we're now loading this one? This is just, there's so much data coming in right now. Okay, let's take a moment. Thank you so much for bearing with me, guys. I hope you're all having a wonderful afternoon. Okay, we're going to get our data set lined up here. Okay, let's see if we can just get this, guys. We might be able to. We might be able to. We might have to reset the entire computer. We have to reboot. That's okay if we reboot. All right. Yeah, we're going to have to reboot. It happens all the time. All All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to reboot our system. As you can see here, it's definitely in need of a reboot. There's so much weather happening. We're going to reboot the entire thing, and we will be back with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. We've been on for half an hour, so this is probably perfect timing for a break. Bye.